I read the script quite a long time before I decided to do it, and thought it was very, very, very solid and kind of interesting period in history, and it was an interesting take on such a massive character, as James Dean. It was so dependent for me on who was playing Jimmy that, I mean, it was the whole movie for me. And so even when I met Anton, if they just cast some guy who's like a James Dean lookalike, I couldn't have done the movie. However great Anton is, I just don't think he would have cast the James Dean lookalike anyway. And then they cast Dane as James Dean, and I thought Dane was great for a long time. And I generally don't work with a lot of guys my own age, and I thought that was another part of it as well. I guess with me, Dane and Anton all are looking at it as a totally different movie. I mean, I never looked at it as a movie about a photographer. It took me a while, however ridiculous it is. And I only started realizing it, really how a photographer felt at the beginning of the shoot, after thinking about it for ages, and also talking to Anton and seeing that Anton's connection, someone who's can be quite, how he talks about it as being quite inhibited when he was younger and stuff. And the camera is the only way you can connect to people. And I think Stock has a little bit of that. He's got so many insecurities, but he can boss people around as soon as he's holding a camera. It's like it's a shield. I think Anton does understand that. Well, he obviously does. But yeah, Dane's thinking about it as a movie about James Dean, and Anton's a photographer, and I'm just thinking about guy's a shitty dad. I went to the Leica office in London, and they gave me a brief explanation of how to do it. But yeah, it's definitely a skill. It's not like someone can show you how to use the camera and then you can take pictures afterwards. It's like you can sort of understand it, but it takes a long time to even be able to take okay pictures, let alone good ones. Before I shot this, I started shooting on the same Leica that Stock had, and I really like it. I mean, it's like a forgotten art now, and soon to be totally forgotten. But yeah, there's something quite gentle about it compared to digital photography, because there's certain aspects of it you just don't have a choice. You can't force a picture. You're so reliant on natural light and stuff that you really have to actually look first. You can't just, if you're shooting on an iPhone or whatever, you can take a picture of anything and just put a filter on it afterwards or whatever. But with a Leica, it's quite strict parameters. I think Dennis's biggest problem is he can't appreciate his own work, because he was taking good photos before he met Jimmy as well, but he just didn't regard them as anything worthwhile. And he wasn't being rewarded for them. But I think when he sees East of Eden, he sees an artist like at the kind of apex of his talent. And because Jimmy likes him, and it's basically when Jimmy gives him approval of the photos, it allows himself to think of himself as an artist, because he respects Jimmy's work so much.